Now, a First Alert 6 exclusive. The Omaha Police Department has eliminated one of its requirements for hiring new recruits, the polygraph test, commonly known as a lie detector test. First Alert 6 investigator Mike McKnight learned the decision comes after internal evaluations and a review of hiring practices used by agencies across the country. Even without a polygraph test, Omaha police tell us there's still an extensive investigation into multiple aspects of a candidate's background. Recruits are constantly being evaluated during that 22 weeks of the academy, and then they have another 15 weeks of shadowing a veteran officer on the street. Mike McKnight checked with some other agencies. Lincoln Police, State Patrol, Sarpy, Douglas County Sheriff's Departments still give polygraph tests to all law enforcement applicants. OPD says it's currently 92 officers short of its authorized strength.